Microsoft is about to increase the price of the Series X and Xbox Game Pass. And if you've been paying attention, you would know Xbox isn't currently in the best state right now.
The Japanese and Chinese companies dominate the industry. You look at Sony, you look at Nintendo.
Just how crucial is it that Starfield becomes a blockbuster?
Starfield has been delayed yet again.
In the console space position, console, you're absolutely right. We're in third behind Sony and Nintendo.
Of course, Redfall has released from Arcane Austin. It's been a tough release week for that, coming out to low reviews and a lot of disappointment from many fans.
From what many might see as kind of flop.
Just to kind of watch the community lose confidence, be disappointed. I'm disappointed. I'm upset with myself.
Even their almost $70 billion Activision Blizzard King deal is still up in the air.
Microsoft is going to be buying Activision Blizzard, an all-cash transaction that's valued at $68.7 billion.
Not done yet. Still in regulatory.
The Federal Trade Commission filing an injunction to block Microsoft's proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard, seeking to prevent the transaction from proceeding before the deal's July 18th deadline.
These regulators, they don't really understand our business.
The New York Times had a story this week, though, questioning whether UK regulators would actually allow this to go through. And the big deal on this is if the CMA in the UK says no, there isn't an appeals process like there is in the United States.
Is the Activision Blizzard deal dead from a Microsoft point of view, and what does that mean for the rest of big tech?
Activision is being good here in terms of making sure it's going to secure its $3 billion breakup fee.
There's just a low degree of confidence that Microsoft actually will be able to overcome the CMA block. It's just never happened before.
5.5 months, some have gone as long as a year, but none over the last few years have been successful. Not one appeal has been successful.
Would you ever see an age where you would sell the product in the U.S. if it was approved, sell the products in Europe and not sell it in the UK if they didn't approve it? Let's wait for it all to play out.
So let's start off with the price increase of Xbox Game Pass. I feel like this should not surprise anyone. This was to be expected, and it's only so long before it hits both the American and Japanese markets too. There is a trend of subscription services increasing their prices. All of the major blockbuster subscription services have done it. Netflix, Spotify, Disney Plus, and HBO Max, to name a few. It translates to a $1 increase for the base Game Pass and $2 for Ultimate. $12 and $24 more on the year. They have said this has nothing to do with the ABK deal, and this is still a great value, but I'm not here to defend the price increase, because at the end of the day, nobody likes a price increase, especially with the Series X, which I also understand because you want to lock in line with the price of the PlayStation 5, so you don't look like the inferior, cheaper product. However, when sales are down year over year and confidence in the brand is at an all-time low, with the upcoming Starfield being make or break for many people, I'm unsure if raising the price right now is the best move. But it isn't all bad news either. They just came off of a showcase where the general perception was quite positive. I thought this was a good showcase, a lot better than the PlayStation showcase definitely, and they showed some compelling third-party titles. However, my issue is the first party. Starfield looks great, it has Game of the Year potential, but the rest is these AA games I feel like won't really move the needle. People are treating Hellblade like it's the Xbox God of War. It's not going to be. So there's some new IPs finally getting away from Halo, Gears and Forza. But are these franchises gonna carry the next 10 years of Xbox? Avowed? Really? Fable could be something, but again, we still haven't seen full gameplay. And it seems like there's still no culture other than Game Pass. That's the culture at Xbox. And the releases as of late have been lackluster. But is that the future? The budget, affordable system that you can pay $12 a month for and get mostly AA games with maybe one blockbuster title a year that you can play on Xbox, PC or the cloud. It certainly seems like it. But let's talk about the elephant in the room. Activision Blizzard King. With all of the negativity surrounding this deal right now, I honestly don't think it's that bad. If it falls through, then it falls through. They have to pay out $3 billion. That is a lot of money. But at the end of the day, I don't feel like too much changes. Sure, Xbox gamers don't get Call of Duty in Game Pass. They don't get Diablo 4 in Game Pass, but that came out already. You want to wait like a couple months for to play it? Like, if you really want to play it, you would have bought it by now. Candy Crush is already free. Overwatch is already free. I honestly don't even feel like this is a good acquisition in the first place. So if it falls through, then it is what it is. They have another 66 billion to spend elsewhere, and I feel like that could really be spent better elsewhere. Go buy IO Interactive, or better yet, stop buying entirely, at least for a while. Figure out how you were going to manage these studios you already acquired. There's been too many failures and mistakes for Phil Spencer and Matt Booty to still be in the same position. They don't have to be fired, but move them around or bring some more people in to help them. Another controversy surrounding Xbox is Starfield being 30 frames per second.
4K on the X, it's 1440 on the S. We do lock it at 30.
The defense for this has been out of this world. I saw someone say, if you don't like procedurally generated planets, I have bad news for you about how the real world was formed. Like, be for real. People say, well, Red Dead 2, The Last of Us 2, Spider-Man were all 30 FPS and they were amazing games. Those are yesterday's, not today's standards. I tried to play Shadow of War recently. This is the first 30 frames per second game I've played on PlayStation 5, and I had to turn it off. I was really looking forward to getting back into that universe, the Nemesis system. I was so hyped up, I downloaded it and I started playing it, and I just couldn't do it. And I couldn't believe that I used to play games like this consistently all the time and not notice anything. It made no difference to me. But after seeing the before and after and just being used to 60, I can't go back. The new standard is and should be 60 frames per second. At the very least, give me the option. I would even take 1080p 60 frames per second. This is a big deal. I feel like Starfield is a system seller, but more so for PC than the Xbox platform. And as great as Starfield looks, there are some other complaints like, well, how much is there going to be to really do on these 1,000 planets? How do you have a traversal game where there's no vehicles to help traverse? I feel like the Series S being mandatory is going to hold back the full potential of these games till the next generation comes around, and developers themselves have said this. So what is the state of Xbox? Weak hardware holding them back, a culture that is only Game Pass, a platform that has no identity really but Game Pass, leadership which seemingly don't know what they're really doing apart from when dealing with Game Pass, an Activision deal that potentially might fall through and they're paid $3 billion, or if it goes through, then I don't feel like it's worth it to begin with. They're overpaying, and I just am not confident with the current state of Xbox. If you're still here, then thank you for watching. I wanted to here's some b-roll of me I'm not sure what it is I was trying to do here, but here's b-roll. This is what behind the scenes looks like. Thank you for watching anyway. I tried something new, kind of expanded upon a new style. I kind of started with the last video with more of a documentary style video. I'm not sure how sustainable these are. They take a long time to make. They take a lot longer than a regular style video where I just talk about news, but I don't want to do that. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you like this direction, this style, if you want to see more. And yeah, just give me feedback on what you thought, how I could improve, and I'm always trying to improve video over video. I'll see you in the next one.